Let's talk about the Indiana Pacers, Shaq. Here's a team that was making steady progress, losing in the first round, then losing in the conference semis.
Oh, say does.
It's the Pacers, and they're doing business on the road. It's an interconference NBA matchup. Great to have you with us, everybody, live on 2K Sports alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. I'm Kevin Harney. You look at San Antonio. Well, they're entering a bit of a soft spot in their schedule, facing off guys against some of the lower-ranked teams in the league, and we'll see if they're able to take advantage and have their win total.
When I look at San Antonio, they've really wasted no time. I mean, they've already shown themselves to be in mid-season form, and you expect that from a team of this caliber.
Yeah, they're a team to be reckoned with, among the very best the league has to offer, and they know it. They play with a lot of confidence.
Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Down low, West and Hibbert. Rodney Stuckey out there with George Hill, and it's George in at the 3 spot.
Roy Hibbert, the big dog, number 55 for the Pacers, is 7'2", and is a little too big for king-size beds. Every time the Pacers go on the road, he has to take along a special inflatable mattress that he likes to sleep on. One of the downsides to living large.
And it's Rodney Stuckey with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. Parker kicks to Duncan. Duncan with a screen on Hill. Shot clock at 6. And that one's good. Parker.
That was an outstanding pick that gave him the room to bury the jump shot. Underrated, but not undervalued.
On defense, the Spurs. They're coming off that win against the Nets.
That didn't seem to be much of a challenge for them in that game. It seemed like they scored at will. Not much defense that they were facing.
Yep, they had the defense on its heels early the entire game, and actually nearly the entire game, and no matter what unit was out there, looked like a mismatch to me.
And the shot is good.
A good open look, and he splashes home the 3.
Hill with it, averaging 9 points per contest. First quarter, about a minute and a half in. And that's out of bounds. Indiana will retain possession. Outside, George. Good, and it's Hill picking up the assist. George has got his first 2 points.
He had his choice of finishing moves there, and you just got to love the fact he went old school with the finger roll.
The Pacers have gone 1 of 3 from the field to start this one so far. It's blocked by Duncan.
Offensively, 1 of 4 to start. They're still trying to find their stroke.
Parker's shot is off.
The defense was ready for him that time, and they had to be. He is so powerful in the lane.
Hill dishes to West. Leonard with the steal. Splitter passes to Leonard. Here's Parker. The Spurs rebound. Splitter kicks to Ginobili. And it's going to be a 3-second call. The story from beyond the arc. Here's who's leading in that category across the NBA. Well, you look at Bellinelli. He's absolutely deadly from outside. And, of course, Tony Parker right on his tail.
Well, I tell you what, both of these guys would be an excellent choice. Either one of these guys would be an excellent choice for a last-second game-winning shot. Both are confident shooters.
Green, he's checked in for Manu Ginobili. Knocks it loose. Hill kicks it to West. And the whistle blows. It'll be on Tiago Splitter.
That's his second foul already, and that's going to force him to, I think, tone it down a little bit at the defensive end.
Hibbert with a screen for West. Some nice passing here by Indiana. George with no one around. And unable there to get the go-ahead bucket.
Kind of a shaky first few minutes, guys. 5 field goal attempts, only 1 made.
Outside Leonard. Parker left side. Drills it from outside. Parker's got a couple of threes now in the first with the Spurs.
And his shots are dropping right now. This quarter has been very kind to him. Well, for Tim Duncan and the Spurs, an incredible legacy of dominance in his 17 years in the league. The Spurs have never won less than 61% of their games, not to mention, of course, 5 finals appearances and 4 NBA championships.
Now, here is George. He had a 21-point outing in their last game against Dallas. Offensive rebound, and that one's good.
He got a great read of where that miss was going, and that allowed him to be the first guy to it and get the putback.
Green kicks to Leonard. The dish now to Duncan. Back to Leonard. In low to Duncan. They kick it out to Green. Just 4 to shoot. He had a nice open look right there. And that's 11 points for Tony Parker. And the Spurs have done an amazing job, Clark, over the years surrounding Duncan with the right kind of talent.
And Tim Duncan has done a great job leading and making adjustments in his own game. They're a team with great scouting and development of their players. You talk to players who've been there. That's one of the things they rave about, Kevin, is they get the attention for their individual development. And all of their players were not lottery picks. Most of them were mid, late, first-round picks, some second-round guys, and it's just another example of doing it the right way at the highest level.
Well, you love what David West brings to the table. Offensively, he can shoot, he can post up, he can muscle you, and he can really help you win without the ball in his hands, too, by setting hard screens and crashing the offensive boards.
Splitter with the ball, covered by Hibbert. And Wes, just what you think of when you talk about a true veteran, competitive, leadership, toughness.
All of that is David West personified. He does it without saying a whole lot. When he speaks, it's always right on time and on target, but his example is one that all young players should absorb and benefit from.
Luis Scola, he's checked in for West. Here's Hill, blocked. They retain possession. Hibbert hits the bucket. San Antonio with the ball. 3-point lead. This game against Indiana, the first time they've met this year.
You know, in terms of playing against somebody in the opposite conference, it doesn't get much better. In fact, it's too bad these clubs only play each other twice.
And it's Rodney Stuckey with the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. Some changes for Indiana. Mahinmi comes in for Roy Hibbert, and it's Watson in for Rodney Stuckey. Parker with it. Playing Brooklyn, he was nearly unstoppable. Just 5 on the clock. Outside Leonard. San Antonio needs to get off a shot here. Splitter. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. So the Pacers call timeout, their first of the game. They come into this one following the loss to the Mavericks.
Tough game to lose, really. They actually put up a great fight, I thought. But you know, when you're battling for a road win, even when you play hard, nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah, I think it's something they learn from, though. I mean, you have to convert the positives, even from a loss like that, into momentum for your next game. They got to take what they did well and kind of double down the efforts here tonight.
Bonner, he's checked in for the Spurs. Diaw comes in for Duncan. Steve referring to last year's game moments ago about, two beauties. And in those 2 games last year, they battled to a split decision, each team winning once.
You know, my guess is it's going to be hard to tell these teams apart. They're both still very, very potent.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any agenda.
It's hard to overstate all the points they've scored on assists today. Beautiful to watch.
Here is Watson, averaging 6 points per contest. Here is Mahinmi. He's guarded by Diaw. The shot by Mahinmi, no good.
You gotta like the defense not quitting on the play and getting a hand in the face.
Sure do. With a tough defender breathing down your neck, that makes it not an easy shot.
Now, here's Diaw. Quiet so far offensively, searching for his first points of the game. In time, he gets the jumper to fall.
Everything going according to the script for them offensively so far.
Yeah, the shots have been falling, that's for sure. The offense really in a good groove.
Watson with it, guarded by Green. And there's the whistle, fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. Block shots, a stat that sometimes doesn't tell the whole story. Big-time shot blockers aren't always elite defenders. And then the opposite is true. Their block shot totals don't quite capture that great impact they really have defensively.
And I think when you look at Hakeem Olajuwon, I mean, the numbers show that he was a phenomenal defensive player. 3,830 career blocks, two-time Defensive Player of the Year. I think you put him alongside greats like Bill Russell, who played before blocks were actually recorded, of course, but you put Olajuwon up near Russell in terms of maybe greatest interior defenders of all time.
And a look at how the offensive approach has been going here so far for the Spurs.
Now, they didn't waste any time getting into a groove out there. They're dialed in from long range.
They've been distributing the ball really well tonight, too. I mean, a decent number of assists so far for them.
Pacers trail by 6. The pass to Scola. Ball stolen. Throws it up high, and it's out of bounds. The Spurs able to retain possession here.
Coleman here to take a look at some stats for Boris Diaw. He's around 6 points per game, 5 rebounds, and 2 assists. And just bringing in size like his off the bench can be a difference maker.
Well, you know, to be able to keep bringing in capable big men for a strong rotation, that can wear down other teams.
Diaw with the steal.
Well, they weren't going to pass up that chance to get out and run following the steal.
They better not. They've got to pad their lead any time an opportunity presents itself. And I'll tell you what, that was a golden one there.
Scola, a screen on Green. Here's Sloan. He's guarded by Diaw. And once again off the mark by Indiana. The drive by Green. Leonard kicks to Parker. Deflects the pass. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. 6 on the shot clock. Passes to Diaw. Outside Leonard. This one for 3. It's good. The assist that time from Diaw. And it's an 11-point San Antonio lead.
And that's what's built them this early lead. Deadly shooting from behind the arc.
Yeah, the D better start getting out there on them, Steve, and soon.
Here is Watson. The shot by George. Wide open. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line. Indiana shooting their 7th free throw attempt here. Spurs leading by 9. You got to give the front office a lot of credit with the Pacers for what they've put together.
Without question, Kevin. You know, prevailing wisdom in the NBA was that to compete, you needed to either be a big market free agent destination or kind of tank for high draft picks. The Pacers kind of did it their own way, building solidly and steadily through the draft and with smart, true free agent acquisitions. The biggest one being David West a few years back.
Here's Sloan. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. Outside, George. Dishes it to Mahinmi. Terrific design on the big play, and he lays it in.
They can't afford to give him that kind of look.
Well, it came off a good screen, but still, as a defender, you got to fight over the top of that.
Bonner inside. Mahinmi on him. Green dishes to Parker. Three-pointer. Leonard, no luck. They play the clock right, Steve. They can go 2 for 1.
Yeah, just have to time it right. Make sure you work the clock correctly. You get 2 possessions out of this.
Watson's shot is good.
Boy, they keep hammering away at him inside, forcing that ball into the paint. Smash mouth basketball.
Yeah, and it's a strategy that has served them well in this opening half, Clark.
Now here's Leonard. He really was a guy who also stepped up in that win against the Nets.
If he can improve on what's been a shaky day for him thus far, they could stretch this lead out.
And Sloan kicks to George. And it's Paul George with the foul. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game.
Terrific defensive play to cut him off and square up.
And he took a shot, excellent toughness to get in there and make a play. I love that kind of work.
Now here's Diaw. Just 3 on the clock, and he gets it to go. And the Spurs lead by 7. And that concludes the first quarter of play. It's San Antonio up 7. And we'll be back in just a moment with the start of the second quarter.
Tune in Sunday